Hypocrite Thomas Tayebwa, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, came out to say that he was sent by General Kaguta Museveni to speak about BESIGYE's ordeal in Rukungiri and the greater Kigezi sub-region. We all know by the statue of Dr. Kizza he has influence in the Kigezi sub-region, and he was incarcerated by the regime saying that he wanted to overthrow the regime, or he was making some activities which are contrary to what government thinks. In fact, using Tayebwa shows something that I want to point out in this video. In fact, Tayebwa confirmed it himself by saying this. I want you to listen very carefully because it's going to form a basis for a discussion. Here is the tape.
I have been sent by His Excellency the President to coordinate with our ministers and our flag bearers and leaders from this region to explain to the people of Rukungiri, Kanungu, Kigezi and the country at large the issue of the continued detention of Dr. BESIGYE. Dr. BESIGYE is in state custody. He was remanded to Luzira prison on the 21st of February 2025 by the Nakawa Chief Magistrate Court. Since then, the state has, through the DPP, has made it very clear that they are ready to proceed with the court. Because on the 29th of May 2025, the retired Colonel Dr. Kizza was committed to the High Court for trial. And in February, we had expected that indeed trial would begin. The government has been ready since then, and we thought this would be an opportunity for the evidence of the state to be brought out in broad daylight, in public light, and examined and even challenged by the defendant's side. But what has happened has been frustrating for the court to proceed with the trial. Over 10 different applications, including miscellaneous applications and others, and also referral to the Constitutional Court have been made. And all these have frustrated the process of expeditious trial, which we thought would benefit the defendant, since it would be in his interest to challenge the evidence that is presented by the state, but also the state to prove its case, because the burden of proving the case is on them.
So that is Thomas Tayebwa. First of all, Thomas Tayebwa is coming out to put the blame on BESIGYE's lawyers. He's coming out to say that it is the lawyers who keep on applying different applications for Dr. Kizza BESIGYE to be in Luzira prison. So he's playing reverse psychology. Instead of blaming the person who took Dr. Kizza BESIGYE to prison, is blaming those lawyers who are fighting for him. And we all know the good thing is Thomas Tayebwa should understand that Ugandans now know the law. Ugandans went to school. Ugandans understand. Ugandans have different fora on how they can access information and disseminate information. We all know that is what is happening to Dr. Kizza BESIGYE. In fact, I think General Museveni is so tactical. He's using Thomas Tayebwa as one of the most senior leaders in Kigezi sub-region because he's the deputy speaker. Order of precedence, I think, puts the deputy speaker number 5, if I'm not mistaken. Another high-ranking official could be Kaindo Tafire. Kaindo Tafire even came out once to say that the court of public opinion sees that Dr. Kizza BESIGYE is facing charges which are fictitious.
That BESIGYE should be tried in a court, condemned or absorbed, is a right. It's a right. So when the department falls under you. DPP is under Chiwanuka. Honestly, keeping a man in jail for 8 months, and you say he's guilty, you've not told us what it is. Tell us. Yes, I know he could be guilty as hell, but for as long as we don't know what he has done or not done, for us as laymen, in the court of public opinion, he's innocent. In the court of public opinion, he's innocent until you present him before us and he tells us what he has done. And all the others. No citizen should be incarcerated without fair trial. I've told you this. You may hate me, you may like it. That's up to you. As far as I'm concerned, nothing lost, nothing gained. Bye-bye.
And it is true, because the judiciary keeps telling us that justice must be seen being done. We don't see justice in Dr. Kizza Besigye. So one may ask, why is Tayebwa coming out to act like this? So in the purpose of this video, I've come to tell you why Genome 7 is picking Tayebwa and what it means in the politics of KIGEZI sub-region, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to tell you that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. One, Thomas Tayebwa, you should understand that Genome 7 is using you to play politics. We all know that when Bobby Wine was in KIGEZI sub-region, he came out to say, free Dr. Kizza Besigye. So, since Dr. Kizza Besigye is one of the senior leaders with a lot of influence, they are sending Tayebwa to neutralize that influence. Genome 7 is doing something akin to what the colonizers used on us. They would pick out those who the society sees in high esteem to disseminate their information. And in this regard, General Kaguta Museveni picked Tayebwa to do that. Tayebwa, you should remember that your politics has a foundation of FDC under Dr. Kizza Besigye. One of the things you could not have done is coming out to play reverse psychology that Museveni means well for Dr. Kizza Besigye, that it is his lawyers who are frustrating his release. History tells us that Dr. Kizza Besigye is the most incarcerated politician. Yet there is no court that has ever convicted him. It means that there are always fictitious charges. For you to come out and say that Dr. Kizza Besigye wanted to forgive or wanted the trial to be expeditious, even when Dr. Kizza Besigye was arrested in Kenya, which breaks the law, because no police is allowed to arrest another person in a certain police without following the law. They incarcerated him for months. It took Winnie, his wife, to come and say that he was incarcerated in the military barracks, which broke the constitution. So for you to come out and say that it is the lawyers who are keeping him in prison, it is so distasteful, shameful, and bad. In fact, Tayebwa even went out to say that Museveni wanted to forgive Dr. Kizza Besigye, but he can only do that after the conviction is made. Truth is, any president has the right to forgive anyone even if the court convicts him. That's what Tayebwa insinuated about. In fact, he said this statement, be very careful because it's also going to make to form a basis for a discussion. Here is the tape.
There have been many rights which the president wanted to be clarified to the people of Rukungiri and KIGEZI, that government is intentionally holding Dr. Kizza Besigye, that we are not allowing him to be tried, that we are holding him without trial. But we wanted to clarify that even if the defense side said they are ready tomorrow, the state would proceed right away, because everything to do with evidence according to the DPP is ready.
First of all, Tayebwa, you should understand that is the modus operandi of government since inception. Even the NUP foot soldiers who were arrested towards the 2021 election are still in prison. They wanted to force them out to seek asylum and I don't know how it's called in the law. General Museveni has always behaved like that. General Museveni has frustrated Besigye's trial. You remember when he was in the military courts? Even the failed to be transferred from the military courts to the High Court of Nakawa, it took time, and you are coming out to say that it's not being done deliberately by government. You look at other political cases. Look at how Segenya was done. The regime has always done like that, Mr. Tayebwa. And what pains me more, Tayebwa is a better person than Anita Among in all forums. I give it to him. Even the way how he presides over the house. General Museveni normally wants to use such people who have credibility to do stupid things, and Tayebwa, you are doing a stupid thing. You are selling your brother for coins because you come from the KIGEZI sub-region. Let's continue with what Tayebwa said.
I want to clarify to the people of Rukungiri and reassure them that Dr. Besigye will be given a fair trial, but this takes two to tango. It takes him also and his defense team supporting the process of a speedy and fair trial, which would be not interrupted with the ongoing procedures and court processes. So we do hope that indeed the defense side will cooperate with court, will cooperate with the prosecution, so that the evidence obtained by the state can be availed to the defense side for their scrutiny, for their challenge. Then the witnesses also of the state are brought in the door to explain, to justify their testimonies and evidence. And you never know. Besigye might be free after that, or he might be convicted, basing on how the court decides. For those who have been saying the president should release Kizza Besigye, the president has no power to do that under the law. The DPP is independent and will not take instructions and does not take instructions from anyone. The evidence that was produced before him, he assessed and felt there was a case against the state. Now it is his case. It's not President Museveni's case. It's not the case of these flag bearers or the ministers or whoever. It is the case of the state which is represented by the DPP. The president can only intervene if Dr. Besigye is, for example, convicted and he wants to be pardoned under the president's prerogative of mercy, where the provided for procedure would also be followed.
So, Tayebwa is also coming out to say that the DPP is independent, that General Museveni would want to forgive Dr. Kizza Besigye, that he has to be convicted. Trust me, the DPP's independence is just on paper. We've seen cases where the DPP is directed. Trust me, the president has the highest influence within the government. If he wanted to withdraw the charges from Kizza Besigye, he would do it as soon as yesterday. I know how government operates. I know, because General Museveni has ever gone against the judiciary, has ever gone against any institution. What can prevent him, if indeed he wanted to withdraw the charges from Dr. Kizza Besigye, to do it? To show that Dr. Kizza Besigye's case is from State House. Before even he was incarcerated, the CDF, the son to the president, came out to say that he has got a tree on which Dr. Kizza Besigye is going to be hanged. And after days, he was caught in Kenya. So what Tayebwa is saying is utter nonsense. They are trying you. They are trying to use you as a cleanser in the politics of KIGEZI sub-region, and most especially in Rukungiri. People, the sons of Rukungiri, those who have influence, has betrayed Dr. Kizza Besigye. Normally, our teachers tell us that you use old cases, okay, so that you can preside over a new case. Kizza Besigye has been incarcerated for very many times. There is no time the court has ever convicted him. It means that there are always fictitious charges. So Thomas Tayebwa is being used as a cleanser for the purpose of rukungiri. They fear that the rukungiri and the KIGEZI vote can maybe be divided, because for a long period of time, KIGEZI sub-region has been voting for NRM. Even when Kizza BESIGYE was running as president, they would get a sizable votes from KIGEZI sub-region. So they are trying to cleanse using Tayebwa. And Tayebwa, this is below the belt. We understand how politics is done. Even other opponents from the NUP are suffering the same fictitious charges. They are being bail are not gotten. You remember what it took for Seginya to be released. Why are you saying that the DPP cannot be directed? The negotiation between Mao and the DPP etc. for them to be released. So Tayebwa, there is no amount of cleansing you can bring for Dr. Kizza BESIGYE. Dr. Kizza BESIGYE is a son of the soil. In fact, Ugandans betrayed Dr. Kizza BESIGYE. Okay? We have nothing more to ask from Dr. Kizza BESIGYE. Dr. Kizza BESIGYE has everything to ask from us. And the people who are groomed by Dr. Kizza BESIGYE, like Thomas Tayebwa, who are held in high regard, is coming out to cleanse the unfortunate incidents, the unconstitutional tendency of the regime. Okay? So, no one should tell you that Dr. Kizza BESIGYE did something wrong based on history. And I can even bet my hand. I don't want to speak about the case because they can charge me for sub judice, that they will end up leaving Dr. Kizza BESIGYE without being convicted. And for me, I keep on telling the people that the judiciary was taken by the executive. How come that the person can be without hearing for a year in prison and is not getting bail? Yet bail is a right for as long as you incarcerate someone for more than 6 months without trial. He has to get mandatory bail. Even a simple thing like a mandatory bail cannot be gotten. As we speak right now, more than 200 people, more than 450 people who support NUP are facing fictitious charges. And Tayebwa is coming out to act as a cleanser because now they want votes from the KIGEZI sub-region. He's telling the electorate and leaders that it's because the reason why Dr. Kizza BESIGYE is in jail, he has fake lawyers who keep on applying very many things, that maybe Museveni wants to forgive him, but he has to be convicted. Yet even people are being added on his file. It shows you that the case is going to go. Yet we have history where his son is coming out to say he's ready to kill Dr. Kizza BESIGYE. Shame on Thomas Tayebwa. In fact, I feel bad when Thomas Tayebwa comes out to say this. In fact, Tayebwa, come here. That is your cane. As we go forward, Ugandans should continue praying for Dr. Kizza BESIGYE. He's, I think, making 70 years. By virtue of all things, he's an old elder. Being in prison, one of those, if you've never gone in prison, is one of the hardest things. And for a long period of time, he was in solitary confinement, not until I think last week where he was removed. He might die in jail. And one of the people who have taken the greatest shame will include Thomas Tayebwa if you don't come out to rekindle those statements. Of course, that's my opinion. Remain yours truly, Mr. Makindi. Kabye Sulaiman Mawagali. I will see you on another one. Peace.